Well, howdy folks, and welcome out to the claim. It's a really cold morning, but let me show you what we've been working on. We've had some rains in the past month or so, and it's been able to kind of soak into the ground. Now, I've been working on this channel, this red gooey clay, for the past couple of months, as you know, and of course the rain's finally soaked enough to make it soft so you can dig in it, at least about halfway. Now down below here, I'll show you in a minute, this stuff is still really rock hard, but you see I've got this pile over here behind me, and of course we got the wash plant over here, so we'll go ahead and run some material through here in just a little bit. But let me kind of show you what's going on here. Now, of course, this dirt that I'm working on, it's a little more red than before, so I'm kind of hoping we'll have some better nuggets in here. And of course, some of this ground is some really good contact material. See this nice chunk of gneiss and quartz and everything? Super heavy too, by the way. And of course, we got these chunks of quartz all mixed in here too. So it looks like really good stuff. A little bit of gneiss and schist as well. But most of it is really this gooey clay clumps here, and that are super hard. So it's going to be really tough to see how well this thing goes through the wash plant. In fact, here's another piece of it right here. You see how it's kind of crumbly and all that. And so we'll see how effective this works in the wash plant. So let me show you just how tough this ground is. So we're not really all the way down to the caliche layer. In fact, you can kind of see this white right here. This is all kind of the starts of the caliche layer, or false bedrock. So I'm about maybe about 6 inches to a foot above that. So we still got more to dig. But you can see how tough this is. It's been extremely hard. In fact, you can see the chunk of material that's come up through here. And you see it's all this conglomerated clay. And this is the stuff that contains the gold. So we want to be able to get this stuff broken down in the wash plant. Now, unfortunately, I said it's super, super tough to dig up. So I'm kind of hoping that now that I've exposed this, we get some rains a little later on in the next month or so. And then that'll soften up and we can get all the way down to the bedrock. Because I'm sure as heck that there's going to be a lot of gold down on the false bedrock, or the caliche layer. As you can see, I got quite a bit of dirt here piled up, probably about 3 to 4 cubic yards of this red gooey clay material that we'll process through the wash plant. We'll probably run about a yard today and see what we get. So I just want to give a recap to some of those who are new to the channel and haven't seen my wash plant before. This is an upper shaker deck with a vibrator on it that shakes all the material. It's got a spray bar up here that sprays the water down onto the material, and then everything flows down onto the sluice down here. And then, of course, all the stuff that's 1/4 inch or larger flows out into the tailings pile. The rest drops into the sluice. That's where the gold collects. And then eventually the material ends up down here on this dewatering shaker deck down here. And this is where the water is separated from the material. That's a 200 mesh screen in there that's vibrating. And what it does is the water falls through the screen deck, and then all the material, the waste, flows out onto the tailings pile as well. So this is the first step in a dewatering process, so you can recirculate the water continuously so you can run more material, especially out here in the desert where there's no water. You know, and so you got to bring it in. So water is pretty precious. So the more you can conserve water, the better everything's going to work out. Now, of course, I have my tubs down here. You know, I've got several other videos on how all this works. You can go check them out. But here's this is the sand filters that are in these tubs. And you can see, if you look real close, you can see chunks of ice down in here. That's because it froze last night when I set this thing all up. So it does get pretty cold out here in the desert, but not as cold as my friend Jason, who's up there in Wisconsin with Flower Gold Wizards. That guy is out there mining, you know, gold in sub-zero weather. So a little shout out to you, Jason, and I know the good work that you do. And if you haven't seen Jason's channel, I'll leave it in the description so you can go check him out. He does some pretty wild mining up there, especially in the frozen, you know, parts of Wisconsin and all that. So anyhow, we'll wait for this ice to thaw out a little bit. We'll get things rolling, and we'll run some material through this. Well, we seem to have everything working pretty good here, even though we have still some chunks of ice in the tub. Here's the spray bars on the upper shaker deck, working away, looking pretty good. And everything seems to be flowing down onto the sluice. This is where the gold collects. You can see that, looking pretty good. And of course, we've got the dewatering shaker deck. Everything seems to be working on there. And the foam, of course, is from the surfactant, or from the jet dry that you put into the sluice or into the system. All right, so that's running really well. And of course, here's our tubs over here. One of the sand filters. You can just see little chunks of ice still floating in the tubs there. There's our pump that we got. And of course, the pump is pumping up to this, through this tube, up to these 2 buckets here, which is our pressurized sand filter. And from there, water flows all the way back up to the spray bar of the upper shaker deck. So okay, let's go ahead and feed some material in here and see what we get. Here comes our first load of dirt here. We'll just go ahead and start pouring into the shaker deck. We just want to feed it evenly. And you see how all those rocks are getting washed. Just about the right rate you want to see. This is really hard gooey clay, so it's going to take a little bit of work. I see a couple of clay clots down there trying to break up as they're going down the deck. Some of them may not make it. There we go. Yeah, looking pretty darn good. You see the rocks coming off the other end, dropping down into the wheelbarrow down below, all the tailings. There's some more feed. Looking pretty good here. Yeah, not too bad. All right, so let's come on down here to the sluice. See the action on the sluice. Everything's flowing over the riffles nicely. And we come on down here to the dewatering shaker deck. And you can see all the separation going on between the rocks and the material. And you see how everything's flowing out the end there. And look at all that gooey clay heading straight out of the deck. Look at that. Isn't that something? Let's come around to the other side and we'll show you a little closer up what's going on. Look at that gooey clay. So you got 200 mesh and plus size, all the way up to 1/4 inch coming off there. So you can see mixed in with that 1/4 inch material is all that other gooey clay as well. And of course that's just flowing right down onto the wheelbarrow there, where we'll take it out to the tailings pile. So it looks like everybody's flowing pretty nice, I have to say. Looking real good here, so we'll just go ahead and keep feeding on some more material. There we go, feeding more material in here. What I really like about this shaker deck is it's just about the right height for me. I'm about 5'9", and you can see it just makes it real comfortable to pour it in. I can even rest the bucket right on top of the spray bar and just tip it in if I want. Makes it real super easy. You can see all these rocks getting cleaned up in here. Oh man, that's looking real good. Yeah, everything's flowing pretty nice here. Looking good. And like Jeff Williams and I have always said, who needs a gym when you can be a gold miner instead? Besides that, it's more fun anyway. You get to keep all the gold. Boy, I tell you, this stuff is really super gooey. It's going to be a challenge to really get this thing washed real well. So I'm kind of feeding it a little slower than usual. Wow. Whew. Okay, folks, I think we're going to go ahead and shut her down. It looks like everything's starting to get kind of gummed up here. Water's looking pretty dirty. And you can see all the gooey clay coming off of here, off the dewatering shaker deck, as well as the upper shaker deck. But you can kind of see the water down here in the filter system. It's pretty well maxed out here. Water, it's still somewhat lubricious, as you can see, but yeah, it probably needs, the filters probably need cleaning a bit. So we're going to go ahead and shut her down now. And in fact, you can see how much we removed. It looks like we took out roughly about, I don't know, probably about a little over a half a yard of material. This stuff, like I say, is just really super gooey. So we pretty well maxed out the system. So let's go ahead and shut everything off. So we'll go ahead and turn the pump off first. And we'll turn off the upper shaker deck. And then we'll turn off the lower shaker deck here in just a second. Make sure all the little dots are moved out. Yeah. And there we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and clean out the sluice and see how much gold we got. All right, let's get the sluice out of here. Takes just a little bit of working to clear everything. There we go. Oops, almost. There we go. And we'll just go ahead and set the end of this into this cement tub and set it on top of the bucket so we have a nice slope. So why don't you come on in here and we'll take a look, see if we got any gold. All right, we'll go ahead and pour a little water on here just to kind of wash things down a little bit, just see what we got here. And oh yeah, we got some. All right, come on in here and take a closer look. How about that? Caught right in the very first riffle here. Nice little chunky nugget, look at that. How about that? That's pretty good. Right on the very first riffle. And let's slide on down here. I think I saw another one in here in the corner. Yep, there it is, right there. So we got another little chunky. Look at that. There we go. Whoop, drop that one down. Okay, and I think I saw one more hiding in here. So, oh yeah, there it is. Right there. Let's see if I can get my tweezers on it. Right there. Nice little piece right here. Okay, right in the riffle there. You see that? Pretty awesome. Now I'm just going to kind of pan down here. Some of the stuff's in the shade. Let's see if we can get a little sunlight on it. Don't quite see anything, but there's also a lot of material on top of here. Some vegetation. All right. Well, let's go ahead and clean this out and see how much gold we really have. Okay, we'll just pop these things loose and remove these little rails that hold the mat. Set them aside. Pop this guy loose. It's not going to work. Okay, we'll come up this way with it then. There we go. And into the bucket. Ooh, this water's cold. Still got chunks of ice in it. Woohoo! And it's already in the afternoon. Wow. All right. So we'll go ahead and take this mat here, kind of shake it up here, kind of knock off some of the material, and then we'll spin it around so that way the riffles are pointing to the outside. That helps open them up a little bit, loosen up all the rocks. And like Jeff Williams always says, yeah, you're going to get wet. Well, here we are. Want to shake it up real good, flip it over, do the same thing for the other side. Shake it up real good. Yeah, looks like we got most of the stuff out. Just a couple little pieces of rocks wedged in there. We'll get those out later. All right, we'll set that aside. Okay, and then the other one is, where'd my little cup go here? Go ahead and we'll finish washing this sluice out, get it all nice and clean here. Make sure there's no residual gold kind of laying here in the metal. All righty. And we'll just take this guy out. Yeah. Okay. And we'll set him aside, as well as this. We'll deal with that later. Okay, and we'll just put it all in the bucket here. Yep. There we go. Okay, let's go over to the panning area and check it out. Okay, we'll throw a little jet dry in there. That way, don't get the gold floating around. Get that mixed in there real good. All right, so now we've got all this material here in the pan. We'll go ahead and hit it with the spin it off. I love the spin it off because it pull out all the magnetics. You can see how that works there. See how everything spins around. There's no way, as those magnets are spinning around in there, that allow the gold to stick to it. It just falls right out. So go ahead and suck all this out. If I go too fast, you hear the bearing spin. Yep. There we go. Okay, and we'll save that into a pan for later, just to make sure that we don't lose any gold that might actually be stuck to that, although I rarely have that occur. Okay, and now we're going right ahead to go ahead and pan it out. There we go. Real muddy, gooey stuff here. Now, I like this Maverick pan for myself. It works really well. You know, some people have other types of pans they like. Everybody's a little different, but this Maverick pan does a really good job, especially capturing fine gold. It really does, because it traps the gold right down here in this little spot here. So anyhow, we'll go ahead and pan this down. Now, I won't bore you with all the details here. We'll kind of cut through all this, and I'll bring you back as soon as we're down. Well, we're actually down to the black sand now. So let's go ahead and just finish this off, I guess. A lot of black sand in this sample. Whew. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll find some good stuff here. All right, getting there. All right, moment of truth here, huh? Here we go. Actually, I'm going to spin it around this way. That way the sun can work on it a little better, because the sun's getting a little low in the sky. And we'll just go ahead and do our little cut here and see if we get anything. Here we go. Okay, I'm starting to see. Yeah, there we go. Woohoo! There's some pieces. There we go. See them there in the corner? See if I can get the sun. Get the water out. See that right there? Nice little cluster of chunkies right there. How about that? Okay. That's good. Woohoo! Let's bring those guys out. Let's see what oh my gosh, there's more in here. Oh, look at this. Oh, okay, we're going to have to work at this, guys. Yeah, let's see here. Let's bring it up here so you can see it real close. Look at all these little chunkies starting to show up in this black sand. Let's see if we can clean it a little bit more. Oh, there's more stuff in the corner. And there's more right here too. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this looks like going to be a really good pan here. Look at that. Wow. How about them little chunkies right there, huh? I mean, these are pickers. This looks like, look at that nugget. Look how long and stringy that is. Isn't that neat? Look at that. Isn't that cool? So yeah, we got at least a good little long nugget, a smaller one, and definitely a couple of good pickers here so far. All right, let's see what else we got. This is pretty awesome. This is pretty awesome. Now I'm doing this left-handed. I'm right-handed, so it's a little awkward, but I'm hanging in there. Let's see if we can get them back up in the stack here and see what we get. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a few more hiding in here too. Look at that. Oh yeah. Let's get this piece out of the way here. Yeah, there's some more. Yeah. All right. Well, let me finish panning this down, and we'll see what we all have here at the end. Okay. Here's the end result. It looks pretty darn good. Let me center it up here in the camera for you. I'll bring it in real close. You can see that we got some nice little nuggets. We got that long little stringy nugget right there, and a whole bunch of little pickers. In fact, let me see if I can bring that little guy into the camera. Will it focus? Not really. Okay, we'll just keep it at that. All right, so that's looking pretty darn good. So we ran about a half a yard worth of material, and it looks like we got about a half a gram's worth of gold. So that's not too bad. Looks like it's running about a gram a yard, which is kind of what I expect. All right. Boy, that gooey clay is really tough to process. We only got a half a yard through there before the water started to get a little gummy. So it's going to take some time to run that thing through. So, well, hey, before we close, I know that some of you have been asking me how my trailer mounted wash plant's coming along. Well, it's doing really good, and it's just about ready for testing. So at the end of this video, I'm going to tease you with some pictures of it. And it looks pretty cool. I mean, I've learned a lot from this wash plant, this little test model, and I've made some modifications and everything to the trailer version, which will be the commercial version later on. So anyway, if you like this video, be sure to smash that like button. And if you want to share it, hit that share button, and you can send it out to your friends so everybody can watch the video. And if you're a new subscriber to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell, so that way you'll be able to get future updates whenever I post another video. And as usual, I wish you the very best in your prospecting adventures. Get out there and find some gold, and we'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.